Hi, Nikki Hancock again with Nikki Hancock Photography. First of all, I want to say that I have been blown away by the response to my first couple videos. If you are a small business owner or self-employed and you're feeling really nervous, anxious, depressed, scared, or confused, you are not alone. My phone's been blowing up all weekend with people that watched my videos last week and are just desperately looking for more answers. I think the good news is that programs are coming. The part that's been hard for people to swallow is I had quite a few people that spent their entire weekend looking for the forms to fill out and how to apply. And I want to stress again, these are brand new programs. The stimulus bill was signed into effect Friday afternoon, like around 5 p.m. Eastern time. So this stuff isn't available yet. It's not even been built, the infrastructure. So while I understand the anxiousness, we're all very anxious to get our income going, get our bills paid and everything. This is a long game. Anything that comes with the government is a long game, and it's more of a long-term plan. So I am highly encouraging everyone to take a deep breath and take a step back, and this is going to be a long-term solution over the next few months. This is not something where you're going to get a check this week. I know that a handful of you are really upset that that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's the truth. So the sooner you accept that and start working on a plan, the sooner you're going to feel better. I wanted to talk a little bit real quick about the fact that it seems that there are, for every couple of people you know that are self-employed and kind of struggling, there are so many who are quietly struggling and not talking about it. And I didn't realize that until I put a couple of these videos out, and so many people started messaging me and calling me. It's almost like there's a little bit of shame attached. I think people who are usually entrepreneurs are very proud of what they do, and they don't like to admit that they can get knocked down easily. This is a huge thing that's happening to everyone. So I read that at the time the coronavirus shutdowns began, 58% of Americans had less than $1,000 in savings. So if you're in that boat and you're struggling and you're scared and you're not sure how you're going to make payroll or pay your own bills, you're not only not alone, you're in the majority. So maybe put down a little bit of that shame or fear of talking about it and get real proactive. Like, my goal is to help empower you and kind of give you the knowledge of what's available. So in addition to the unemployment that I talked about last week, there's also the CARE Act has a loan program that will be forgiven for small business owners. And it sounds like a pretty great deal for a lot of people, but I'm still vetting out like what exactly is included, who is and isn't eligible. I've taken a couple webinars and watched some videos, and I'm still really looking into it, and I will get into it as soon as I feel like I have a better grasp on it. But in the meantime, I wanted to really stress that the best, most important step you can take is to just sit down and defer all the payments you have. I see people trying to jump 10 steps ahead as if they just need this money right now to pay these bills. And that's backwards from the way that you should be doing it, because we don't really know when the money's coming or even exactly how much, you each will be eligible for. So the most important steps are, like I said last week, get really clear on your financial situation, comb through and get rid of any bills you don't even need right now, and figure out exactly how much you really need to operate for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, because that'll help when it comes time to taking out loans, for example. But the one step I wanted to tell you that is like the best thing you can do right now is to defer your bills. And that's because almost every place out there right now is offering this. They are not making you pay right now while everyone's out of work. So I spent about 2 hours today calling all of the companies that I pay bills to and work with. I think I forgot a couple that I'm kind of here and there going, I got to add that to the list and maybe call tomorrow. but I wanted to just share with you what some of the biggest companies are doing and give you a little, like a couple tips on making the process easier. So for me, the process actually went surprisingly smooth because I sat at my computer at my desk with all my files. So I had account numbers and stuff real easy, login information real just right at hand. I highly recommend you do that, as the process isn't like the funnest thing you're ever gonna do. So if you can make it simpler, that's better. So for mortgages, it's going to be individual depending on who your mortgage is through, but most mortgage companies are offering one of two things. One thing is that they're just deferring payments. So that's what my mortgage company is doing. They're just holding off all payments due until like the 1st of June, which means I don't have to pay anything till then. But when the 1st of June comes up, I've got to make 3 months of payments all at once. So keep that in mind, as you're doing this. But it's kind of the boat that most of us are in, where we know that there's going to be some assistance coming in. So we're just pushing off payment dates until that starts coming. The other thing that mortgage companies, some of them are doing, is they're just tacking your payments to the end of your loan. Mine isn't doing that, but my car loan company is. So when I got a hold of them, they're taking the next 2 car payments and tagging it to the end of my loan. So nothing will be due now, but the loan will go longer and it will accrue more interest that way. That's the other way some mortgage companies are doing it too. So both of those companies haven't completely set up their kind of the way they're working it yet, but they had online forms that I just went and able to you fill out a couple questions, they're like yes or no boxes you check and submit it, and then they get back to you with the plan. PG&E I wasn't able to get through to, but I was able online to cancel my automatic because I pay that bill automatically. So I canceled that, and they said that they're not shutting anybody's power off in this time. So basically no late fees, no shut-offs. And I did send an email that I'm waiting back on some more information. Comcast is doing a cool thing where they gave everyone unlimited data for 60 days. So that's pretty neat if you're stuck working from home all of a sudden or homeschooling and you're using a lot of data. There's no charge for unlimited. Other than that, I'm not really impressed with how they're handling it though, because I couldn't even ask for a deferment on the bill because my bill's not overdue. So because my bill is paid in full, they won't even address it. So basically when it comes time to pay the next bill, if the situation hasn't changed, then they'll address it. So I don't know, maybe you can let me know if your bills due, what they offer for you, but they wouldn't even address it with me. Verizon is cool. They're just putting off payments till May 13th, and I believe it's across the board for everyone. You don't even have to apply for it. No late fees, no disconnects, nothing, and they gave everyone 15 gigs of extra data. So your speeds should even stay faster and everything. I just went online and clicked their info, and it even said there's nothing further you have to do. Everyone just gets this. So that's cool if you're with Verizon. I don't know what the other cell phone companies are doing, but maybe you can drop a comment or let us know if you have one of the other companies for your provider. Allstate is who I have my car insurance through and my business insurance. And in both cases, they are deferring payments till the beginning of June. So no payments are due from now to the beginning of June. But then when the beginning of June comes, you have to pay that whole amount in order to keep your service going. They did say that it's different state to state. So this is what's offered for California because we're one of the hardest hit and with the most shutdowns. So they said people need to call their individual agent to find out exactly what they qualify for. But for me, that was both my car insurance and my business liability and equipment insurance. So that was a huge coupling of bills that get put off for a while, which will be a big help for me personally. Square, if you use Square to process payments, I was actually really impressed with them because they were the very first company that came out and emailed me right in the beginning and said, we're waiving subscription fees through this whole process. So I don't have any of their paid things, but if you use their gift card processing and some of the other invoice options and stuff they have, they're paid services, so you don't have to pay for those in the meantime. The Square Capital if you've taken a loan through Square, they have kind of a cool program where they offer you loans that are super low interest and really easy to pay back, because they base your loan amount on your daily average card sales, and then they just take back like a little piece from each card sale. So if you have one of those loans, they're just delaying your payment. So when your minimum payment is due, they're delaying it 30 days. It's only 30 days, and they said they'll only do it one time, but their payments are only due every 3 months. So I think that's pretty fair and kind of a cool deal. And you have to log into your account and go to your Square Capital to see how that works. Adobe was the one that really blew me away. I use them, and I make all my students, everyone I work with has to use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. A lot of videographers use video programs, graphic designers use their programs, and I use them for PDFs and stuff too, and I use Acrobat for signing wedding contracts. So I have a couple of subscriptions with them, and I talked with them today, and they just gave me 90 days free. They're not putting off the payments till later or anything. They just said, use our services for free for 90 days. That blew me away. I honestly started crying. It just was like a little ray of light in the middle of all this frustration and stress. And Adobe's a $10 billion corporation. They don't have to care or treat you like you matter, but the fact that they did, it just makes me even more loyal than I've already always been to them. I sent a message to Wells Fargo asking them to not charge me fees for my accounts for the next few months, because I have 4 accounts with them and those fees really rack up, and I highly doubt that they will care, but I figured it didn't hurt to try. Dropbox, if you have Dropbox for business like most photographers do, they have basically like an email standard thing that just says they're figuring out what they're going to offer, and they'll let us know. For me, I contacted my web hosts because I host 3 different websites, so all those different fees kind of add up, and I'm waiting for answers back from all of them. I haven't heard anything. And then the last one, I was really impressed locally here at Tri-Counties Bank. I have a safe deposit box there, and I only use it for work. Basically, when I shoot a wedding, I keep 2 copies of the wedding at my house and then 1 copy on a hard drive in my safe deposit box at the bank. That way, if my house ever burns down, your wedding photos are still safe, or, no matter what happens, there's still a copy there that can't be touched. So right now, weddings are completely called off for a couple of months, and I have no income for a couple of months. So I called them, my fee is due for the safe deposit box. So I called to see if I could just cancel it for now and restart it up when business is allowed to get going again. And our awesome ladies down at Tri-Counties just waived my fee for the year. So I still have the safe deposit box. The day weddings start back up, I don't have to deal with anything. It's still there. I still have access to it, and I don't have to pay for it for the year. That one made me cry a little bit too. It's just the tiniest little kindnesses can really do a lot in the middle of all this stress and frustration. Those are mostly all of my bills that I had to contact. I'm interested to hear from people that have different insurance companies, different phone companies, or cable or internet providers, what they're doing for you. The one thing I didn't touch on in any of my videos last week that I kept meaning to is also the IRS stuff, which you probably already know, but they basically extended tax season until July 15th. So instead of the April 15th deadline, you have until July 15th to file your taxes. Also, if you owe money or you're on like a payment plan with them, all of that is put on hold till July 15th too. You don't have to deal with any of that or accrue any extra interest. Now, if you are going to get a refund, I highly encourage you to file, because they are still processing those and sending out refunds. So that's just more money that you can get to help you through this time. I know most small businesses don't get a refund, so that's probably not going to apply to most of you. So that's all I had to say for today. That's my recommendation for the best thing you can do right now as an entrepreneur, small business owner, self-employed, is to just slow down, pump the brakes, and while we're learning all the programs that are unrolling and figuring out which ones are best to apply for your particular situation, at least call and get all your bills deferred. I haven't come across any yet that aren't willing to work with people. I've heard there are credit card companies that are not doing it. I don't know that for sure, but a fellow small business owner told me he called all of his and they all wouldn't work with him. Let me know if you're in that situation or what happens. In that case, my advice would still be the exact same, which is comb through and cut out every expense you don't need, defer every payment you can, and put the money you do have towards the payments that can't be deferred. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I have a video coming as soon as I can get all the information about the CARE Act loans and the unemployment information put together a little more clearly and easy to understand. But in the meantime, let me know if there's anything else that you need covered or what your experience has been with getting things deferred. I appreciate all of you, especially everyone that's reached out and been encouraging to me, because this has been as hard for all of us as each other, and I still keep saying it, we're in this together and we're all gonna figure it out together. And I really do think that small business owners, like the country, depends on us, and our clients aren't gonna let us fail as long as we keep showing up and showing them that we're not going away. We're gonna be empowered by this, and we're gonna be proactive about this, and we're gonna all figure it out together. So I hope everyone's having an okay Monday, and I will talk to you again soon.